hardest part about all of this is the misunderstanding. We know that when you hear about abuse cases, that it's hard for anyone that has never suffered through abuse to understand what that is. You don't get it.
Been through it, there's different severities. I mean,
we're talking about a 16 to 18-year-old young woman. We're not talking about somebody older. We're talking about a teen that suffered physical, mental, emotional, sexual abuse by her so-called fiance. She got to a point where whatever Kody said to her, whatever Kody told her to do, he became her voice. She was told, she was so belittled and so torn down that she no longer had her personality. Whatever Kody said had to have been the truth. That's what she believed. And she thought, she believed him when he said any physical abuse that would happen, if you tell anyone, I will harm your family. There were so many little things that were happening that now after the fact, we've put it together as a family, but when you're living in the middle of it, you don't see it. And there was abusive situations that we weren't there present for, but other people were, teachers, students, friends of Toni's that now have come forward to tell us, well, you know what, this is what happened, or I saw this happen, and I'm like, but we weren't even aware of that. This was going on for 2.5 years, a gradual build-up in the abuse. She was to a point where he told her he was going to take her where he did not like her family, and so he was going to take her away and she would never see her family again. And she had thought that if she could get Kody to a point where he was successful, in meaning that he graduated from high school, and he had already joined the Marines, and that he had gone into the service, that would be her escape. And that's what she was waiting for. This happened in March, and they were to graduate in May. To make Toni out to be the bad guy in all of this, Toni had nothing against Michaela. They were acquaintances at school. They talked to each other, hi, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't a girlfriend relationship. Kody would never allow that. But it was, one of those relationships where she didn't think twice about it. She was like that with everybody. And that evening, what people aren't understanding, why did she get in the car? Why didn't she say anything? Because they don't understand the abuse she'd been up to at that point. Toni was told never to show her emotions, never to speak out against him, never to tell on him, or I'm going to do this. And so that night, it was, I can't say anything.
That's what she'd been living.
She'd been living for 2 years.
Per se normal, because she knew she had to do what she was told.
She doesn't want sympathy. She is owning up to her responsibility, and she will take whatever is given to her for that. She knows that. What she wants to do is
story from the outside now, and she wants, she understands what situation she was in, the things she did, the choices she made, and now that she's not under that mindset, now that she's not under his control, she understands how, her looking back at it, she understands, she doesn't know why she did a lot of the things she did, but at the time...
She doesn't understand it.
At the time, it made sense. Now that, and she says this now too, when she talks about it, I'm not afraid of being hurt anymore for talking about this.
She is to a point where she is opened up now. She knows the truth needs to be made known. She tells me in a recent letter, and she tells me all the time, Mom, my spirit is back. He took it away from me, and nobody will ever take my spirit away from me again, and I won't let that ever happen. And that's what I didn't have the opportunity to say. Toni's light in her eyes is back, and she's fighting mad, and she's going to make sure in all her power that this doesn't happen to someone else again at the hands of Kody.